Absolute bedlam in China, where anti-lockdown protests are sweeping the country. Up to 40 people burned to death in an apartment fire in Xinjiang because they were locked inside the building as a result of government-imposed lockdown restrictions. Some are calling it the biggest uprising since Tiananmen Square. The normally compliant Chinese are calling for President Xi Jinping to stand down.
Xi Jinping! Xi Jinping! Xi Jinping! Xi Jinping!
I've lived in China for 30 years. I've never seen such a brazenly open and sustained expression of rage against the PRC government. WeChat is exploding with protest videos and furious vitriol. Civil disobedience is becoming rampant. This is a serious test of CCP governance. The government has drastically underestimated feelings of rage and pent-up anger that the apartment fire has unleashed among the citizenry. Some were even heard to chant, "Give me liberty or give me death." Others chanted, "I don't want a COVID test, I want freedom." Meanwhile, large quarantine camps are still being constructed across the nation. China is still pursuing the disastrous policy of zero COVID. And we here in the West would be in the same mess they are right now if we had not debunked the insane, paranoid, draconian policies that were imposed upon us across 2020 and 2021. But what's particularly odious is the same media outlets that vilified, monstered, dehumanized anti-lockdown protesters in the West, called them granny killers, lobbied for them to be persecuted, locked up, are now praising the Chinese protesters as valiant freedom fighters. No, you don't get to pretend that the last 2.5 friggin' years didn't happen. Sky News, remarkable bravery. Anti-lockdown protesters returned to same spot in Shanghai after being pepper sprayed by police. How did Sky News characterize anti-lockdown protests in the UK? They dehumanized them by pejoratively describing them as unhinged conspiracy theorists, then published detailed investigations accusing them of doing it for the money and spreading harmful misinformation, effectively calling for the government and big tech to ban them from organising. Now that lockdown has been exposed as the outrage that it truly was, these legacy media outlets are now throwing their support behind the Chinese protesters. No, you don't get to pretend that you were on the right side of history when you directly facilitated what was subsequently revealed to be totalitarian methods of mind control, to force the public into accepting lockdown without a whimper of dissent. But it gets worse. The Washington Post's Taylor Lorenz reacted to the unrest in China, not by praising the courageous protesters, but by running defense for the Chinese Communist Party's brutal human rights violations, and clinging on to the fever dream that is long COVID. Despite everything we've learned over the last 2 years, these authoritarians are so demented by their lust for control over the behaviour of other people, they'd still have us under lockdown to this day if they had their way. This video is sponsored by Kamikoto Japanese Steel Knives. Look at that beauty. Used by Michelin star chefs around the world, the knives are made with super high quality Japanese steel, using traditional techniques that date back over 800 years. This is the crappy knife I was using before, and this is the Kamikoto Japanese Steel Knife. Look at that, like a hot knife through butter. Faced with the Kamikoto, that carrot didn't stand a chance. That single bevel edge means Kamikoto knives can achieve an unbelievably sharp edge you just can't get with other knives. Kamikoto is truly the edgelord of the knife world. Wouldn't want to mess with that, would you? Each knife is individually inspected and comes with a lifetime guarantee. The knives come in this lavish heavy-duty ash wood box, so they make a great gift too. Each Kamikoto knife goes through a rigorous 19-step process, and you can tell just by looking at them that they're top quality. Go to kamikoto.com/anythinggoes and save up to 85% with free shipping as part of the early Black Friday sale. And get this, if you use discount code ANYTHINGGOES, they'll give you an extra $50 discount on any purchase. That's massive. The best way you can support me is by supporting my sponsor.